iyan sa inriglipayan ayat tumagad at tulong at tumagad hapunya manhiblo at tulong manhiblo hapunyan hunay at tulong hunay hapunya muncilot at tulong muncilot hapunyan munahuan at tulong munahuan hapunyan ay muntukuk at tulong muntukuk hapunyan ay pinangwah at tulong pinangwah ay hapunyan muncilot at tulong muncilot hapunyan yamun anok at tulong yamun anok hapunyan cinalaag at tulong cinalaag hapunyan ay blipayan himaw mawet blipayan himanayang blipayan himuntanga blipayan ay himpatangan blipayan himapotuwer ay blipayan ay mun aahom blipayan himahelet mun blipayan hotjomna blipayan hilumapia blipayan hitumalano blipayan hihipe blipayan orjatan blipayan hitamacingan blipayan hitpicayan ay blipayan ay mamagka blipayan hilopong blipayan hikuhang blipayan cipungpungan blipayan cipuhiya blipayan cipayah blipayan ciuan ay bayan sa init blipayan ay huiyapan niya parihi imat tagatan tiawa tinapukan na taluwatang ang mga nung hipayah tinaiho. This group of deities are in charge of anything that we eat and we drink. So that's what we usually start with, after praying over the ceremonial paraphernalia, depending on what kind of ritual you do, the appropriate ritual materials that we use for our purpose. The wine and the fire is enough, but I call upon this group to make sure that we are not affected by anything that we take. Also for our spirit ancestors to partake with. Even the fire, let's drink.
So this
all some fire.
so talaga, it seems that nature is on us, no?
Or even call all these spirits that are already descending on your.
Yeah.
What's this, mountains?
Yeah. So this Apapuy ritual is usually a community gathering, right? And is there any specific intention for those participants of Apapuy?
Yes, Apapuy in general is just sitting around a fire and just tell stories. But it's good to have an intention, so it will be amplified by the fire. So what I had been doing is very elemental. We all do. I like using the fire because among the four sources of fire, the earth, the sun, our heart, and fuel, it is the fire inside us that fluctuates. Sometimes we diminish it because of the way we think, the way we act, the food that we eat, the way we relate with one another, and all of creation. Even in proper posture and proper breathing is enough to diminish. And of course, ancestral traumas, when they connect with you, you feel that diminish fire. So by building a fire, it literally amplifies the fire, help the fire inside us. You know, especially to this society, how many go out and feel the power of the sun? Many people are cooped up in their offices, and frequency of electric light way below the frequency that we get from the sun.
Actually, it was so nice that you have mentioned that we have many sources of fire. And for me, I see fire as the one that gives light and gives warmth. And I think what I've heard from mom is during December season, it's nice to gather our community together in front of the fire so that we could lessen the cold season. No? And it's about time we set up this fire because many people are cold right now. Cold in terms not because of the season or the weather, but they have a cold heart towards one another. And this fire burns the passion, the warmth, the love for each one of us. But there is also, maybe I would ask also your opinion or the message of the ancestors towards those people because they are burning in passion. And sometimes, because of that burning passions, they neglect the traditional way, the wisdom of the ancestor, and they said, I'm a light carrier, I'm a fire element, and I can do whatever I want. What would be the channel or the message of the ancestors for those people that they neglect the path or the tradition of honoring our ancestors? Do you have any message about that?
Yeah, there are many people now who are self-proclaimed shamans. And there are many people who are intellectual too. And there are many young people who look at Googles and they feel they know more than their ancestors. What I can say about that is to stay humble and respect, respect one another, respect the ways of our ancestors. Who are we to judge them? There are many things that we cannot intellectually explain the ways of our ancestors because the medium that we use, the language, words, is limited to describe what our ancestors know. So it's good just to be humble.
Indeed.
You look at the sky and you cannot count the stars. The telescopes that scientists invent is very limited. So let's be humble.
Indeed. It's a nice message.
The other reason why I use fire is because the other three elements, we pollute the water, we pollute the air, pollute the earth. It's hard to pollute the sun.
True.
We pollute the fire inside us, but not far from fuels and the sun, the center of the earth. So it's good to reconnect with this fire.
Actually, di ba, parang they also, you are talking about pollution, but I remember that gold is being refined by fire, so it can be considered as a form of cleansing. The fire we burn is a form of cleansing. Yeah. So, I see na yung importance of fire. For example, the light that you carry, the torch that we carry, is we could burn or cleanse out the impurities of the soul and also of the society.
All the other elements, when not controlled, can actually damage, including fire. We drink water, notice us, but a tsunami could also destroy even the sturdiest house. So it depends on how we use and just staying in that balance. Many big corporations now do not know when to stop or when to have that control or I had enough. So it could be the same with fire. Just have enough to
What?
give you that needed love amplifier. Ah, you
Cheers to
already
the
deserve
spirit.
to drink. I guess so.
Yeah, cheers to that. And as you drink, I will have a follow-up question if you won't mind.
Okay.
So, may follow-up.
I have all the answers.
Yeah, and that's
They may not necessarily be the right one, but I have all the answers.
no, there is no right or wrong, but I see that you are starting a big fire, no? And that is the Ifugao CLC,
Mumbaki and Congress.
the Congress, the Mumbaki Congress. So, what is all about this Mumbaki Congress? I am intrigued, no? I am intrigued that you are gathering all the Mumbaki of Kinakin and other towns and villages of Banaue. So what is all this about?
I think we have to start with this lady.
Okay. Yeah. So
The Mumbaki Congress, I actually wanted to have this Mumbaki Congress even before we became friends.
Ah,
So I was still with the NGO and we did some researches in some communities, and I saw, and even myself, I experienced the power of Mumbaki.
yes.
But at the same time, I also see the waning of the Mumbaki. I'm getting lost. Why? Because in Ifugao, we have a lot of religious fundamentalist groups saying that the Baki, the practice of Baki is demonic, satanic. So, and the many of the Mumbakis are now converted, but there are some remnants, or there are still there remains some. But I noticed that the Mumbakis the rapid conversion of the Mumbakis is also because they do not have a support group. So we want to establish a support group because they need some support.
Indeed.
And even among the Mumbakis themselves, we also have to, I think, enlighten them, and so that we can also educate them, so that it could be channel for development. I'm a development worker, so I want to utilize our culture for the development of our community. And the Mumbaki, we have the healing aspect, and we also have the power, or in the functions for the rice fields.
Yeah.
So iba yung ano niya, meron siyang ritual on exclusive na para sa healing, ng may sakit, pero may function din siya sa healing or preservation ng rice fields.
Actually, what I can understand about the Mumbaki, the work of the Mumbaki during my research, as everyone knows na I do constant research, that Mumbaki is not just a shaman in terms of spirituality, but they also do like the community affairs, like the house building, like the healing and swordmanship and protecting the community. And it was so nice that Apapuy, I learned about Apapuy, and we are starting this because I see you as a fuel to kindle again the light among the Mumbakis. Actually, in history, it was during 1621 when the Bailan Tablot of Bohol started to fight a resistance the modern dominant religion, which is the Catholic Church, and it is too prevalent that this new religion that comes to us called as demonic. Our gods, our ancestors as demon, and they make it as a devil that nobody knows. No, it is so the conversion factor is very strong that even our Mumbakis or even the Babaylan are converting the new religion because of the persecution. So is there up to this time ba meron pa ring persecution among the indigenous faith? They are being jailed or what? Or they just discourage it?
Wala naman sila. We don't have exactly the persecution as in the persecution that you kill, you put them in jail. It's not like that. But the
Only
fact that they, yeah, it's a sort of discrimination. So
Like
the
yes, something?
like for example, those when we had this meeting with the Mumbakis, they related to us how they are excluded by the family or their my branding or stereotyping of the Mumbakis already. Stereotyping in the sense that they are doing this, which is not good according to them. So, meron na tayong sinasabing level of discrimination among the and in terms of yung isang gusto kong iano natin is yung is our right to self-determination.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh, the indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. Isa yun yung ano natin. It is itong ginagawa natin, it's also our way of asserting our rights na to be respected. So, yun. But mainly talaga, it's establishing a support group para maano sila.
Actually, yes, no? Kasi that is also what I feel, no? As a traditional indigenous worker or cultural worker myself, taking the role of binabaylan, parang the encouragement from the people, no? Encouragement or acceptance from the people around us in our community is very essential, and we are being disheartened if we could hear na, oh, the Catholic Church don't allow this practice. Although I received that, no, when I was teaching with my partner, I want passion training, na ang Roland, the office of exorcism will not allow the practice of tawas, the traditional diagnostic method. So, I said, pasok dito, but who the hell they are? This is our culture. This is the identity of us being a Filipino. And they have no right to tell na this form of practice is not allowed because the government won't allow us. The reason why the government won't allow that is because the Catholic Church don't allow it for us. Diba? So, I think I know I have this only little knowledge about our ancestral way, but I really have a high respect on the Mumbaki and the Ifugao culture because you have preserved it. Even right now, people come to the Philippines to Ifugao to see what the hand of our ancestors have made. Now, up to this day, is still present and still living. No? And I see that the rice terraces, the gilot is still continuing, and I thank our brother Mamerto because he is so loud in telling it to the whole world that our tradition still exists and it should be protected. Diba? Do you have any questions?
I can add a little bit to that. We use the fire as a metaphor. You know, there are some writers, scholars who are describing indigenous knowledge or indigenous communities as dying. But there are also people who know that culture do not die. we just stopped practicing.
Indeed.
And we are just fortunate in Ifugao because we were colonized later on.
Mm.
So there are more people who still adhere to cultural practices compared to your immediate tribes here, the Tagalogs and Ilocanos, who are, if there is any, very few. So this organization, as mentioned by Jenny, is actually to gather the remaining Mumbaki and make them strong.
Mm.
An evidence that there is an immediate need to organize them is that when I decided to come and live here, uh, 2016, I counted the Mumbaki in the village where I grew up. There were about 14, no, 16.
Mhm.
And then from 2016 up to now,
Mm.
there are 12 Mumbakis who died,
Mm.
and only one was initiated.
Mm.
Yeah, I was going to start. We had the initial meeting in 2018
Mm.
to start organizing, but then COVID came and it was disrupted.
Mm.
So when I met Jeneline and she has that same idea of organizing the Mumbaki, I said, "This is it. Let's all work together and organize." Good to have some educated people
Mm.
because it's education and religion that basically sort of almost eliminated all these indigenous practices. So we will use the same tool that they use against indigenous people to strengthen them. So if we can gather some educated people who realize that we are sort of misled by the colonialists, and the Mumbaki will really feel supported, they will come out and share. There has never been an organized Mumbaki in the past because we did not need it. But now we do.
Indeed.
To balance all this continuous
Actually,
killing of culture.
yes, it was being killed, no? Even the young people of today, if you send out to the mountains, they may never, I don't know if they will survive in the mountains because the culture right now is more about having cell phone, having money, and everything. But if you give them no technology, if you give them no money, they don't know how, no? And as I can see, just by imagining the life of Ifugao, you know how to cultivate the land, to grow your own food, to cook your own food, and you live even without money. But of course, no, I don't be hypocrite enough. Money is still important in order to support this advocacy, this challenge that we are creating right now. Because by your help, no, your help with us, to the Ifugao Center for Living Culture, and to the Mumbaki Congress, this knowledge, this ancient wisdom will still be preserved, and all the people will be empowered through the teachings of the Mumbaki. So, talking about that, so what is your goal or plan or your idea on how big this Mumbaki Congress will be? So, what are the activities that we are about to do in the Mumbaki Congress? Ms.
You like to start or me?
Oh, okay, you start. I will start. Oh, we just had this meeting last November 25, and then we will be having the next meeting on January. Actually, on January, we'll be selecting the officers, but we will do it in a traditional way, not like the elections that the mainstream society do. So that is the second that we will do. So we will set up the officers, the accountable people. So we will be gathering the Mumbakis from all the municipalities, the 11 municipalities of the province. So we will try to get the representatives from all this. So because the Mumbaki, there are some differences. So, but we will try as much as possible to put up a provincial wide. That's the goal. Then we have the organization, and then that's the time that we will do the planning. And what are the challenges and what are the mandates of this organization? That will be by January. Then after that, we will be having the bigger activity, which is now the Congress. So we hope that with our with no budget, we can still do that.
But this is the point. This is the point. What do you think that our viewers could help or do for the Congress?
Yes.
Send money. So I think it is important your wallet to be with us. Just kidding, no?
Yeah, actually, a plan without budget is nothing. It's just a mere paper. So we will do the planning, and that is why the first meeting we did not do any solicitation or any. We started from our own pocket, but of course,
But it was so successful.
yes, and that is the reason why we need some budget, because we want to compensate the loss income of the Mumbaki, because this time it's cleaning of rice fields, and we will be taking them to the venue, so that we can give some money for them to get some workers to do the agricultural work while they're away. So yun yung isa. And then of course, we do not do something without performing rituals.
Yeah.
So we have to have budget for the animals to be used.
Especially.
But for us, for the conveners, for the volunteers, our services are free. But we are soliciting this money for the Mumbakis, and for the activity,
Yes.
not for us.
Actually, what I've learned, if a Mumbaki performs a ritual, the blessing is automatically distributed to everyone who participate in it, It's not only the Mumbaki that is parang benefiting from it, but the Mumbaki channels the blessings to everyone. Kaya, for example, if you want to be blessed right now, support the Mumbaki to prepare the materials. For example, buying wine, buying the animal for sacrifices,
And transportation.
the transportation. That small amount that you are sharing is a big blessings to be distributed not only to the community, but this Mumbaki Congress will be big enough, and they will together, imagine if all the Mumbakis that been gathered in the Congress, how many countries will be served of this blessing, diba? Especially right now, we have a little study about the Busaw, about the demon, and now, the role of Babaylan or traditional priests in the Mumbaki are diminishing, and there are only few rituals that being performed. And that's the reason why evil spirits are roaming around. Although we don't see that as a monster anymore, but this evil spirit that roams around came in a form of mental illness, emotional illness, anxiety, depression, and something else. That's why there are some people who are good enough, they will commit murder, they will commit holdup or robbery, and when they are caught on the jail, their family will test, oh, I didn't know that person is so very good, I didn't know what happened to him. And that's the presence of the evil spirit that is roaming around, because the new sad to say, the new religion parang stop the traditional one to perform our duties, no, and we are being discouraged to do that because of discrimination, depriving of some basic rights, or you will not have this if you don't be converted to our religion. And I've heard there are some tribes that is forced to convert into Christianity is because of the benefit of employment, the benefit of having to buy some foods on the stores, and there are really some events or accidents that happen because we are indigenous or calling to the traditional religion or traditional god. We are not allowed to buy or to sell. Just like on the issues of LGBT, some in America, now there are some, you could not buy cake or bread from us because you are LGBT, you are not Christian, something like that. No? So that's how I see it. Diba? Do you have
At
anything?
the Mumbaki, Mamako, Babaylan in general have many functions, and they have been serving their community with all their functions. They serve as priests, teachers, judges, doctors, uh, that now, we lost respect. So that's basically what we are trying to put back. What this Ifugao Center of Living Tradition is partly doing is to bring back the respect and honor that the Mumbaki deserve. And to add to what Jenilyn said, we need logistics in order to do that. In the past, a Kadangyan or rich according to the Ifugao standard will single-handedly hold the festival and feed the whole community. But it's only possible because the community know their role. So they actually work as a community. Now we lost that. So that's why we need support to sort of make our goals be achieved until we, I guess, if we are successful, bring back that sense of community where we will take care of one another instead of depending from above, from the government or an organization to come and help you. That's why we need support. And to add a little bit more about the Center for Living Culture, it's me and my children actually came up with that name. When I decided to be initiated as a Mumbaki, I did it for my own personal spiritual growth. But when I was sort of discovered that I was initiated, I was invited to a group, and I learned that there are many people who need this kind of service. There are many young people who are hungry for indigenous knowledge. And so my children and I decided, when I decided to come and live here, that we will start this Ifugao Center for Living Culture, where I will just go there and practice our traditional simple way of living, including spirituality. I do not have control over big organization, including the government or the whole environment, but I have control over what I can do. So I decided to go back and restore the abandoned field. I have control over that. There are people who are interested to come and learn. That's why we are establishing this, to provide a space for people to come and experience or put into practice what they already know. There are not many space in our country, where you can actually go there and practice your spirituality without being judged. So that's what we are trying to provide. It's expensive to do restoration work, and that's why we are fundraising right now. Yeah, now there are not a lot of people who are willing to work physically. You have to pay people to come. Before, in that small village, Kiluk, that I'm dealing, for example, there are probably at least 60 to 70 families who have a piece of land there. So they help one another take care of the irrigation canal. Now there are only 4 of us. This year, only 3 of us tilled land. So who's going to help take care of the irrigation canal and then till your land? That's why we are fundraising to help hire people to help us. It's a tall order to do restoration, but I'm committed. I'll just do the best I can. If I only till a small piece, I'll be happy with that. And if you will come and till an inch, I'll be happier.
Actually, it will be,
Some of our audience will come and till half an inch each. Oh, we will end up with
we could cover the
36
whole-
inches.
Yeah. So nice. I remember 2019 or 2020, we went to your place, and you have mentioned that you want to help, to help your brothers, our fellow Mumbaki, that is not educated, to become a teacher of the craft. And you have mentioned there are many very good, no, despite of not educated formally, but they are masters, no? They are masters. So, will the Mumbaki Congress also do that also, or the Ifugao CLC?
That's one of the topic that we will be discussing. That's mentioned by Jenny. After we organize, we will have a conference and we will talk about guidelines on how to maintain the integrity and the power of Baki, and including how we are going to teach.
Kasi when I learned that, no, parang I am seeing na there will be many people coming in Kinakin or in Ifugao to learn. So is there any possibility that Department of Tourism would also be involved into this project?
Hmm.
I think Miss Jenny, do you think so?
Actually, there is this big possibility, but at the moment, I always tell them that we have to first strengthen our own group,
Yeah.
because there would be no genuine partnership if one is weaker and the other one and your other assumed or alleged partner is stronger. There is only genuine partnership when you are at par with one.
Yes.
So we have to strengthen, we have to organize, strengthen our organization, our officers, so that pwede kang kasi there comes the inequality or exploitation if one is weaker and one is, especially when we deal with government, they have all the resources, they can get, and the NCIP, we do not have patent or copyrights on all of our writings, indigenous, we do not have that. So it could be open to
anyone.
piracy, or yes, to anyone. So yun yung lagi kong sinasabi, we have to organize, strengthen that, and establish some measures of protective measures. Otherwise, all things will be pirated before we know it, thinking that these are our partners, inviting them to our community.
Actually, there is one concern, no? Concern, and I want to to raise this an opportunity to solve this concern. Na like what you said, piracy. there are many Filipino Americans or Filipino in diaspora that claims to have this authenticity of carrying our culture, no, our culture to other parts of the world. And the problem is, no, they are not, no, they are deviating the minds of the supporter to just go to there instead of coming here in the Philippines to have the authentic way, especially in terms of hilot, no. So our teaching in hilot, it is not just a form of massage that you know na it could be on spa, but it is a treatment or therapy. It's not just merely touch. But there are people who will just say, no, this is hilot, this is massage, and it is the Filipino kind. But in our teaching, of course, massage is not just a treatment of the physical illness, but we also do include the use of herbs and tawas to heal the spirits. No? I think you have mentioned also na mayroong mga bone setters in Ifugao. And aside from that, if it cannot be, it will need the help of the Mumbaki to mediate on the aspect of if the illness is caused by spiritual means. Diba? So, yung parang I asked naman to if it is possible now we could have this group, no? Pero I think, no, future, siguro we will give it to the Mumbaki Congress na parang magkaroon ng accreditation to protect our culture, something like that. Kasi right now, even yung government organization, I feel we are not really protected. Even for us in traditional medicine, or practice traditional medicine, instead promoting our own Philippine traditional medicine, they are promoting foreign traditional medicine. Is there any other final words that we could say?
Well, I'll
Continue.
say something about that tourism
Mm.
that you mentioned. You know, when I decided to go to Gilo and actually live there and practice my simple living and spirituality, it's not for tourists.
Mm.
You know, we are all healers.
Mm.
We saw people, suffer.
Mm.
Health, good health is one of the driving force why I went there. Our ancestors were healthy because they eat good quality food.
Mm.
That's what I like to do there. So if a tourist will like to come and plant, then I invite them. If they just come to take photos of me or let me perform, I'm not a performer. I like to go and live a healthy life. And if there are people who like to come and learn and have an experience, that's for them.
Thank you very much, Mama Marta and Miss Jenny. I hope to see that this project will be successful. So for all of you who are watching this, please kindly support Mamarto by going to his PayPal account, which you could read down on the link. And you could also visit the ifugao.clc.org, their website, and you could support them over there. So thank you very much. Maraming salamat. And until then, bye. Nangyari na. Pag-asa team. Thank you very much.
We are also inviting them
Oh yeah.
to attend
We could, yes, we could.
sa Congress.
Oh yes, please, no, before we end. You could also come to our, to the Mumbaki Congress that will happen in January.
No.
Ganun ba? Oh, not yet.
Not
Oh,
yet.
sige.
No final date
Oh,
yet for
no.
the Congress.
Okay. So, no final date pa pala. Pero after that, expect an update at Ifugao CLC or on our website at orlandasnanglahi.com and ilotacademy.com. So, yun. Paalam na talaga. Bye!